Hey there, everybody. Cards and Dice, Tony Porter, and here we are with our replay of Joe Pepitone's 1964 season. It's a season that he does very well in, and that's one of the reasons it's something I had and something he actually does really, really well in. So we figured, hey, why not? Let's play it. Let's test it out, and that's what we're doing. So we are going to play. This is actually game 2. The first game, I don't know if you've watched, but I played in my car when it was about 10 degrees outside and I had no electricity. And I played the first game, which the Yankees won. And I have half the scorecard here. Yankees won it in the bottom of the 12th. It was I believe it was a Boyer base hit single that with the bases loaded that drove in Tommy Tresh. And that was the ball game. I actually filmed it, but I never wrote what Boyer did, but I believe it was a walk-off single. It was a single with the infield drawn in, now that I remember. So my memory's still good, which is not a bad thing, right? My memory's still working. That seems like many, many moons ago. It was rather traumatic. Having no electricity, you didn't know when it was going to come back on. There was no word from government at all, whether state government or city government. It was all just radio silence pretty much, and there was no internet service. The hotels were not available. They either had no electricity or they were sold out. So it was not a pretty experience, and this was Boyer with a drawn-in infield walk-off single, drove in Tommy Tresh, who led off the inning with a triple in the bottom of the 12th. And let's go over today. The Yankees have gone to Baltimore, and they are playing the Baltimore Orioles. And for the Yanks, the lineup is going to be Phil Linz, the shortstop, Bobby Richardson at second base, batting second. Batting third is the Roger Maris, a year after he hit 61 home runs. Actually, 3 years after. Mickey Mantle in center field, batting cleanup. Batting fifth is Tom Tresh, the left fielder. Joe Pepitone, batting sixth, the first baseman. Just read his book. Joe, you could have made us proud. And that was really a fun book to read. And that's one of the reasons I want to kind of relive that. He spoke about these individuals, so I want to kind of roll the dice with them a little bit. Johnny Blanchard, the catcher, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Cleve Boyer. He was the star of the game against the Red Sox, the one game they played against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. And Bud Daly will be the pitcher. Bud Daly was 3-2 with a 4.63 ERA. This is Payoff Pitch. The great thing about Payoff Pitch is that you do get all the players. I don't know that I'm getting all the players in 64. Not sure about that. But the 64 is a type of season where you don't get a lot of new players in there with just one at bat. Usually it's the regulars that are doing, are playing day in and day out. That was the difference between yesteryear and today. And we're right about to get started. Just checking quickly. Okay, good. I'm glad I checked because this is not the right box score. This is not the right scorecard. So I have to find a scorecard for the 19th. Hold on a second. Let me see if I could track it down. I've got a lot of stuff going on here, my friends. A lot of stuff. So I got 2 printers working 24/7. Let's see what I can find. I set some stuff aside because I was, let's see. No, it's not it. Got it there. Let's see what we got over here. All right, nothing there. All right, well, so far, not good. We've got a couple of other projects that I found scorecards for. I found them. I found the scorecards we're looking for. Yes, sirree. And here it is. So the lineup is going to be a little bit different. We're going to probably make a couple of adjustments. It's going to be Jim Bowden against Steve Barber. Jim Bowden and Steve Barber. And it will be Baltimore, Baltimore, New York, New York. I don't know why they're doing that. But let's see if we find Steve Barber here in the set from the Baltimore Orioles. And hopefully it's still the same lineup. Now these cards have a tendency to stick a little bit, just a heads up. So when he's a lefty. Ooh, a southpaw, I like that. It's gonna be fun. And it's gonna be Bowden for the Yankees. Let me see if I can track down the Yanks. Jim Bowden, I read his book recently as well. And so it is going to be a lefty, so there may be some changes to the lineup. There's Jim Bowden. Steve Barber was 9-13, 3.84 ERA, whereas Bowden was 18-13 with a 3.02 ERA, 271 innings pitched. So he had quite a season. He was quite a pitcher, actually, when he started out. He's 25 years old here. So that's a real good season. We got Luis Aparicio in this one. Let's see if there's any changes. Kirkland and Aparicio. So let's find those two guys. Those are the Kirkland, and I saw Aparicio earlier when I went through there he is. All right, so it's going to be Brandt, Aparicio. Boog Powell, batting third, playing left field. Batting cleanup is, I think it's Norm Syburn. And I should check that out. Or John Orsino, Sam Bowens, he's not in there. Okay, so I won't have to. It's going to be Willie Kirkland. Brooks Robinson, he's 27 years old. I think the guy was born old. This is 64 and he's 27. He's still playing in 77. So that's 37 years old. That's 10 years later. Actually, that's 13 years later. So I guess he was 40 years old in 77. Holy smokes. That was his last season, I believe. The Sensei started playing more and more. And the new pitcher is going to be a 6, so we got the right card there. Bowden is going to be a 5, so we have to pull another pitcher hitting card. Let's see. So there's a short rain delay. They're removing the tarp from the field. And we're looking at now any changes. Linz, Richardson, Maris, Tom Trash, Elston Howard is in this one. Pepitone moves down one because he is a lefty. They're giving him chances. Early on, they gave him chances against lefties to hit. They did move him down in the lineup. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, it's going to be Linz leading off. At short, Bobby Richardson, the second baseman. Batting third is Roger Maris. Batting cleanup is Mickey Mantle in center field. Batting fifth, Tom Tresh. The left fielder, the catcher, should be Elston Howard. Let's see if we can track him down. That's the one I can't find. Just had him. I don't know what I do with him. Let's go over these cards. Yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't the right thing when I was looking at that. I said 19th. Wait a second. So let's see if we can find Elston Howard somewhere here. I don't know what I do with Elston Howard. Huh. Here's the Baltimore Memorial Stadium. Let's see if I put Elston Howard in the Baltimore bullpen. May have done that. There's a possibility. Now, like I said, these cards are sticking. So definitely, he's not there. little bit of a drag. He's not there. And let's look in here. Elston Howard. All right, so he's not there either. Jim Bowden. I had just had him. I just had Elston Howard before. I removed him from the pack. And I cannot find Elston Howard. Whitey Ford. Nope. No, Papas is in the wrong team. Ooh, all right, let's look around here. Let's see what could happen to Whitey Ford. To Elston Howard. Where do we go? You know what? I may have put him in with the Boston Red Sox. There he is. Okay, yeah, that's the team I just played. All right, so he's with the Boston Red Sox. He comes back. He got on the wrong bus, and he is ready to roll here. Elston Howard. Howard, then Pepitone, and then Cleve Boyer. And we are ready to go. All right, the way you play payoff pitch baseball is you roll 2d10 for the pitcher, and then 2d10 for the pitcher. Here they are. And then, I'm sorry, 2d6 for the pitcher, 2d10 for the batter. And it's going to be Steve Barber. It's going to be a lefty versus Phil Lynn's righty. Let's do this. We're going to do an old-fashioned scorecard, and it's double D. Yeah, he did play for the Cubs. He played for Houston. Houston traded him, and then he went to the Cubs, and he gave the Cubs a hard time. He actually went on personal leave, they called it. He called in and said, "Hey, I'm not mentally capable of playing the game right now." And they were like, "Hey, Joe, what do you mean you're not mentally capable of playing the game?" "No, I feel depressed. I just don't want to come in." He went AWOL for a couple of days. And he was a character, man. You know, it's like the guy had tremendous talent, but he was a Gold Glove first baseman. But his heart wasn't always in the game. There were times. I mean, also, I imagine that every player has days that he just doesn't want to go into to play. You know, he gets frustrated, whatever. He's in a big slump, and he's dreading going out there and striking out again, and that he's not going to come out of it. That's one of the things in baseball. It's so hard on you mentally, you know. So anyway, let's get started with this game. It's the New York Yankees at the Baltimore Orioles, 1964. This is game 2 of our Pepitone replay. Using payoff pitch, Steve Barber against Phil Lynn's, and that's going to be a 10. That's going to be in play, and in play 56 against a lefty is a fly ball left field, and left fielder. I'm sorry, wait a second. 56 fly ball right field, and the right fielder is Willie Kirkland, and he's there, one away. Look at the time, it's 15:30, so just to have an idea of where we're at. And here's Bobby Richardson, shortstop for the Yankees, second baseman for the Yankees. And this is an 8, a tough pitch, 0-1, strike 3, and he gets him swing, 2 down. Roger Maris, left-handed hitter. Known for his 61 season of 61 home runs, 61 on 61. And that's a 7. That's a tough 43 against a lefty. And that's a strikeout, back-to-back Ks for Barber against the Yankees. No runs, no hits. We go to the bottom of the first. Now, this game plays very, very quickly. Very easy to play, very easy to learn. That's a 3. That's going to be a ballpark result with a 55, and it's a righty. So it's going to actually go into the in-play zone. So we're going to roll, again, the 44 in play against a righty, Jim Bowden on the mound. And that is going to be a ground ball to third. Cleve Boyer, one of the top fielding third basemen in baseball at this time, along with, I guess, Brooks Robinson. Here's Luis Aparicio. Aparicio versus righties batted .257. He played the full season, had over 500 plate appearances for the Baltimore Orioles. All right, that's going to be a 7. A 7's a tough 64. And that is a ground ball, chopped to second. Second baseman Richardson over and throws him out. Here's Boog Powell. Boog Powell with, looking at his home runs, he hit 39 home runs. Left-handed hitter. And that's an 8. That's patient. A patient 39 against a righty is going to be a base on balls. So with 2 outs, Powell trots down to first base. Hope everybody's doing well out there in COVID land. Jim Bowden versus Norm Seaburn or Seaburn. Probably Seaburn. Let's look quickly to see how we can pronounce his name. Make sure we get that right. All right, and his name is, we don't have a pronunciation for Seaburn, but I'm going to look it up. Seaburn, pronounce, let's try that. We get some idea. I have to listen to the games in this era to be able to.
Seaburn.
Seaburn. Okay, great. So let's write that down next to his name. All right, just like the sea, right? So I'm going to do a little water there. All right, so it's Norm Seaburn with a 1 on and 2 out. Here's a pitch from Jim Bowden. And that is a 9er. A 9er is in play, an in-play 52. And that is a fly ball down the line, and digging is Tresh, and he's there. Puts it away, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits. We go to the top of the second inning. Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle added .424 versus lefties. Ouch. 15 home runs out of his 35 were hit against lefties and only 158 at bats. His home runs on his card against lefties 1/93. So if he hits a wheelhouse, it's almost automatic home run. All right, that's going to be a 5. That's a patient 67. And that is a drive down the line. Mickey drives one into the left field corner, and after it is the left fielder Powell, Mickey's going to try for 2. Here's the throw to second, the tag, and safe at second. Leadoff double by Mickey Mantle. Wow. All right, he doesn't mess around. What did Mickey bat that year? 241 against righties, but 424 against lefties and 160 at bats. So probably around 300. Tommy Tresh. Oh, 1 second. What happened there? Where did that go? All right. What did I lose? I lose my white 10-sided white die. We got another one of those. All right, that's a 9 is an in play, an in play 0-3, and Tresh against a lefty. In play 0-3, and that's a drive, and that's going to split the outfield. Is going to roll to the wall, and around third comes in Mickey to score. Tresh is going to try for 2. The throw not in time. He slides in safely with an RBI double. So the Yanks here with back-to-back doubles have taken a 1-0 lead. And here's Elston Howard. Elston Howard bats from the right side. Batted .338 versus lefties. The Yanks have a distinct advantage in this game. That's a 4. That's a tough 27, it looks like. Yep, there he is. Let me get that in. Let me squeeze that in a little bit there. A tough 27 against a lefty, and that is going to be a drive over the center fielder's head, and that's going to roll to the wall. Around third, and coming in to score is Tresh and Elston Howard with a stand-up double. So back-to-back-to-back doubles. That's going to be a tough, and a tough 27 is a double off Elston Howard's card. So they're getting to Barber here early in the game. In the second inning, he's allowed 3 consecutive doubles. Now it's Joe Pepitone, a lefty. See what happens. This is the guy we're waiting for. Hey there, Double D. Haven't seen any payoff pitch for a while. Exactly. That's where I played it. I started playing it in the power outage here in Texas. I played it in my car. There's a video out there on my if you subscribe to my channel, you'll see it. That's a 5. A 5 is a patient, and a 54, a patient 54, and that patient 54. He doesn't like to walk very much. It's going to be a fly ball left field. And coming over Powell, here's Cleve Boyer. Cleve Boyer versus lefties batted .244 with 4 home runs, 5 doubles, 2 triples. 1 out now with a runner at second base. And that is a 10. A 10 is in play, and a 15 against a lefty. It's going to be a base hit. And I got to pull a card for that. I'm trying to remember how to play. And it says sharp liner drops in front of left field. The runner advances 1 base. Runner on second advances 1 base. So runner on second is going to stop at third. They're going to give him the red light. And that puts runners on first and third. Infield halfway looking for the double play. Pitcher's up. Pitcher Jim Bowden is a 5. So we're going to pull a 5 pitcher hitting card. Earlier today for lunch, I played a game. It was on-board baseball. It's a new game I've been playing. What a game that was. It was a walk-off home run by Trey Turner in the 2019 Game 2 against Edwin Diaz. So here is Jim Bowden with runners on first and third. Infield is halfway looking for that double play. And that is going to be a 6. A 6 is a patient 35. Bowden is a 5. So patient 35, and that is going to be, he gets plunked. That's going to load the bases. So Bowden gets plunked, and he's on first, loading the bases with only 1 out, and field is still halfway, looking to get out of this inning with no further damage. And that is an 8. An 8 is a tough 60. And that is going to be a ground ball, a fly ball to right field. Now we're going to see what kind of fly ball it is. It's going to be a deep fly ball, so this is going to give us a chance to score. The right fielder, this is a homebrew, by the way. A lot of guys use this. Kirkland, an arm in right field is a 4-arm. So that's a 4-arm, so that's good, right? And the runner at third base, Elston Howard, is probably like not very good. He's a runner of a 6. So this is basically how it works. So it's a 4-arm, a 6 runner. So between 4 and 6, we look at the chart. A 2 and a 3, he is safe. All the way to 11, he's a hold. He changes his mind, doesn't go. 11 to 12, he gets thrown out. So being that there's very little opportunity to come in because of the arm rating for the outfielder, the arm rating of Kirkland is, really, he's rated a very highly as a arm in right field. We are going, and the fact that Elston Howard again, just with that arm rating, that means he needs a 2-3 to be safe. A 4-5-6 we'd have to read off a chart where he could be out or safe, and then anything above that he would hold. It's just not. I'm not going to try it. So it's going to be a fly ball right field. Kirkland. They fake the tag, and they hold with the bases loaded. And here comes Bobby Richardson. Richardson versus lefties, batted .242. And I have a tutorial on that if you want to look at it. It's very simple. It follows the payoff pitch thinking. All right, just because when I played my 162 schedule, I had 13 sacrifice flies. When I played the 1979 Mets. So in reality, I should have had 66. Yeah, and I felt there was just no opportunities for sacrifice flies. It's just not enough. So that's the good thing about this game. It's easy to make adjustments. All right, so that's going to be a 5. That's patient, and a 26. A patient 26 is a base hit single. And that's going to score at least 1 run with 2 outs. Cleve Boyer may come around. If he's a 6, he will, and he is a 6. And Bowden is a 6, and he's going to hustle on third base. So a 2-run single. A 2-run single by Bobby Richardson puts the Yanks up 4-0 here in the top of the second inning. And he drives in number 6 and number 8. Bobby Richardson comes up big, and here's Roger Maris. And Barber's having trouble getting out of this inning. That's a 7. That's a tough 0-9. That should be a strikeout, and it is. Strike 3. And that retires the side, finally. Yanks pick up 4 big runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits and a hit by pitch. All right, we go to the bottom of the inning. Bowden versus Orsino. Now the Yanks, they won a lot of games in 1964, so they're a force to contend with. This is in play 22. Against a righty. That's going to be a base hit, a little ground ball up the middle and through into center field. Playing the hop by Mantle. And here comes Willie Kirkland, who's got a mean arm in right field. It's a 4-rated arm out there. Here's a pitch. And that is a 9, which is in play 36. And that is going to be a ground ball to the first baseman. This may be a double play. No, not with a 9. Actually, we're supposed to roll that again. We can do that. And it's going to be an 8, and there will be no double play on an 8. And it's going to be a fielder's choice. And it's a 3-6 fielder's choice. And Kirkland is on first. Brooks Robinson versus righties, batted .311 with 20 home runs. So he was quite a player in his day. This is 1964. And that's an 8. That's a patient 39er. Patient 39 is a little ground ball and through the left side for a base hit. Kirkland will move to third base. First and third, 1 out. Jerry Adair. Jerry Adair is the second baseman. Not a great second baseman. He's got a C range and a 5 error. 5 error is pretty good, so he doesn't make many errors. His range isn't all that great. And it's going to be, he's up. Here's Bowden sets, gets the sign from Elston Howard. Deals. And that is an 8, which is a patient 20. And we're against a righty, and that's going to be a drive down the line, and that's going to roll to the wall. Scoring easily is Kirkland. And stopping at third base is Robinson. Second and third now. RBI double. 4-1 the score. And here's the pitcher, Steve Barber. There's no pinch hitting early in the game like this. So it's going to be a 5. A 5 is in play again. He's got mostly in plays on his card. And it's a 43, in play 43. And he is a 6 pitcher hitting card. And that is going to be a pop-up to the infield. Shortstop, Phil Linz calling for it. And makes the grab. 2 down. Second and third. And here's Jackie Brandt. Brandt versus righties batted .269 versus lefties didn't do that well, 197. And with 2 out and 2 on, and both in scoring position here in the bottom of the second. Jim Bowden checks the sign. He sets and he deals. And that's going to be an 11. That's a wheelhouse. Uh-oh. And Brandt hit 10 home runs versus righties, so he may have one here. That's a wheelhouse off Bowden. Doesn't say how many. He gave up 32 home runs. He does pitch in Yankee Stadium. And that is going to be a deep drive off the bat of Brandt. And this game, my friends, is going to be tied up. It's out of here. Jackie Brandt, a 3-run, 2-out home run in the bottom of the second after the Yanks take a 4-0 lead in the top of the second. Ties it up. Drives in number 7, number 8, and himself. Leadoff hitter. Connects off Bowden. And the game is all tied at 4 apiece. Wow. Never expected that. All right, here's the next batter, and here's the pitch. It's a 3. A 3 is ballpark, and a 97 is going to be in play. It's Luis Aparicio. And an in-play 71 is going to be a fly ball center field. And right there is Mantle, and that retires the side. But the Baltimore Orioles pick up 4 runs on 4 hits. They've tied it up at 4 apiece, so we got a heck of a ball game. I thought for a second there was going to be one of those blowouts. It still may be. We go to the top of the third. Barber versus Mickey Mantle. And that is a 7. A 7 is a tough. A 37, a tough 37. That's strike 3, and Mantle goes down on strikes. Next is Tommy Tresh, who doubled. And it's a 4. A 4 is a tough 90. And that is a ground ball to short. Aparicio throws out Tresh, 2 down, and here's Elston Howard. He doubled in that second inning. There are 3 consecutive doubles. That's going to be 11. That's a wheelhouse, but this one's going to be a 99. So that's going to take us to the out section. That's a deep fly ball left field. And that will be it for the Yanks in the top of the third. 3 up, 3 down. Excuse me. Boo Powell leading us off. Pitch from Bowden. And that's a 4 and an 89. And that's a grounded second. And Bobby Richardson throws out Powell. Here's Norm Seaburn. Excuse me. And that's a 6 in play 43. And that is a ground ball, third base, backhanded by Cleve Boyer. Fires the first low throw, but scooped out by Pepitone. Pepitone is very well respected as a defensive first baseman. We'll get some water. All right, John Orsino. Orsino versus righties batted .243. Hit 7 home runs. Most of his power is against righties. And that's going to be a 5 in play, and then in play 80. It's going to take us to chop to short. Waiting back for a second is Lins. Now he charges, fires on the run, and gets Orsino, who as a catcher does not run very well. No runs, no hits. We go to top of the 4th inning. Through 3 so far, it's 4-4. Joe Pepitone leading off. He's a left-handed hitter. Versus lefties, he batted .269, batted only .241 versus righties. And that's going to be a 7. A 7 is a tough 44 versus lefties, and that's going to be a base hit. Played on a hop by the center fielder. Brandt gets it into second base. Adair. And Pepitone's on at first with a single. We're going to double check that. That's a 7. It's a tough 44 against a lefty. And it is a base hit single. Pepitone not really a threat to steal. Let's take a look at his card. He only had 2 stolen bases. I usually don't worry about those guys. Don't really steal with those guys. Cleve Boyer. That's going to be a 4, and that's a tough 54. And that is a fly ball to right in the gap after it is Kirkland, and he chases it down. Hung up there for Kirkland to catch up to it, and 1 on and 1 out. Here's the pitcher, Jim Bowden. That's an 11. That's a wheelhouse 49. And against a 5 of 49, that's going to take us to a ground ball to third. This could be a double play. Well, we got to roll again, right? Let's do that. And it's an 11. That's going to be only 1 play, and that's the first, 5-3. That's going to allow Pepitone to make it to second base. 11 and 12, you go to first on that. Sometimes I feel it's not enough. We should be 10, 11, and 12. But I could do that if I wanted to. Not really worried about it. All right, that's a 12, and that's a ballpark. Ballpark 77 against Lins. That's going to take us to in play. In play against a lefty is a 54, and that becomes a fly ball to right. Coming over is the Kirkland, and makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit. Go to the bottom of the 4th. It's going to be Kirkland leading it off. He hit into fielder's choice and scored in the 3rd inning. That's a 6 and a 76. That's in play, 76. And that's going to be a fly ball center field. 1 down. Brooks Robinson, he singled and scored. Here's the pitch. Jim Bowden winds and deals. That's a 5. It's an in-play 14. That should be a base hit, and it is. Lines 1 to right center field. Played by Mantle. Gets it into Lins. And Brooks is on at first with 1 out. 1 out, 1 on. Brooks, I don't think, is a base stealing type. Hey there, ID Jester. How are you, brother? Everything's good. I survived. I'm a survivor. Made it all the way. All right. Brooks Robinson, now he only had 1 stolen base. Jerry Adair. Now, Jerry Adair, let's see what his strikeouts look like. He's got too many. I was going to try to hit and run with him, but that's a 7. That's going to be a tough 67, and that is a ground ball second base. Let's roll for a double play. Let's see what happens. And that's a 5. And that will be a 4-6-3. They turn it. And that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit. Now, sometimes I roll the double play, and sometimes I don't roll the double play. I don't know. Today I'm rolling for the second time for the double play. There's no one way to do it. But that's how I started, so I guess I'll end it that way. Steve Barber here in the top of the 5th against Bobby Richardson. Barber can go 7, and Bowden can go 8. Then they become fatigued, and I pull their fatigue pitcher cards. If I can take these guys the whole game, I will. That's why I play these older seasons, to get some complete games. All right, it's a 7. It's a tough pitch, and a tough 83. And that is going to be a ground ball to short. Shortstop Aparicio up with it. Fires the first. Low throw. Scooped out by Seaburn. Scooped out nicely by Norm Seaburn. And here's Roger Maris, who's struck out twice in this game. And that is a 7. A 7 is a tough, a 29 against a lefty. Strike 3, and he's 1 away from the golden sombrero. Roger Maris strikes out for the 3rd time. Ouch. And here's Mickey Mantle. Mantle doubled and struck out. Pitch from Barber. That's a 5. That's a patient 83 against a lefty. Goes all the way to 79, but then it stops. So it's going to be a roller to short. Charging hard is Aparicio. Bare hands. It fires to first. Out. Get some. Great play by Aparicio. And Luis Aparicio, let's check his defensive rating. He's a 5. He makes very few errors, but his range at a D gives up a lot of hits. So he lost a lot of range. He's 30 years old. So I thought Aparicio was one of the better shortstops. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. He's got very little range, very low range. All right. So here in the bottom of the 5th inning, it's going to be Steve Barber leading it off. Barber bats from the left side. Not a good bunter. That's a 9er, and the 9er is an in-play 25. He's a 6, in-play 25, and that is a line out to the shortstop. Hit it right on the screws, but right there to receive it was Phil Linz. Didn't have to leave his feet on that one. All right, here comes Jackie Brandt, right-handed hitter. And Linz is playing in the hole. You got third baseman Boyer close to the line. So they're expecting Jackie Brandt to get something that he can pull here. There's a pitch. And that is a 7, tough. A tough 95 is going to be a fly ball left field. So he does pull it into the corner, and Tresh digging, and he gets there. 2 down. And here's Bowden versus Aparicio. Aparicio's ground down, flat out. Here's a wind from Bowden and the pitch. It's a 6 and a 50. That's an in play. And a 50 is a ground ball, chopped to third. Charging hard is Cleve Boyer over to first in time. And that's no runs, no hits for both in the top and the bottom of the 5th. And we go to the top of the 6th inning. Tommy Tresh. Old school scorekeeping, my friend. Old school. You get the old school and the new school, and they come tumbling down on this channel. You know that. You never know what to expect. Steve Barber versus Tom Tresh. Let's do this. Top of the 6th. It's 4-4 all. It's top of the 2nd. Yankees hit 3 doubles, a single, a hit by pitch, and a 2-run single by Bobby Richardson. Scored 4 runs. They were up 4-0. In the bottom of the 4th, it was a single by Orsino, a fielder's choice by Kirkland, a single, a double, and then a 3-run home run by Jackie Brandt to tie the game up at 4. And there's been no score since. There's only been 2 hits since that point, actually. And we are in the top of the 6th. Steve Barber checks the sign, winds and deals. And that is a 381. That's defense. We're going to pull a defensive card. And with that 81, I don't think it's going to do it, because the hit is up to 64 and an error is up to 58. 81. So we're going to use that 81, and that is going to be a ground ball to third base. Scooped by Robinson, fires to first, and 1 down. Elston Howard. Ellie Howard is 1 for 2. That's a 7-0-6. A 7 is tough. 0-6 should be a strikeout, and it is. This is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeout today. And he had 118 strikeouts and 157 innings. So not really a strikeout an inning guy. but he does have that today. Joe Pepitone, in our Pepitone replay, he's 1 for 2. He singled, was left stranded in the 4th inning. Here he comes up. Hit a home run in the first game of the season, so he's got 1 jack already. That's going to be a niner. That's an in-play 51 versus a lefty. And that's going to be a fly ball, deep left field. Pepitone takes it the opposite field, but right there is going to be Powell to retire the side. No runs, no hits, bottom of the 6th. Bowden against Powell, Seaburn, and Orsino. All right, and that's going to be an 8 and a 75. That's going to be a patient 75, and that's a little ground ball and through the right side for a base hit. So Powell starts us off with a base knock. He's on at first. That is the go-ahead run. Here's Norm Seaburn. Seaburn with 9 home runs versus righties, batted .270. We're not doing any bunts or anything right now, not with this part of the lineup. That's going to be a 6. That's an in-play, like almost everything. Is an in-play 44 is going to be a ground ball third base. Will this be a double play? Double play has to be a 5 or less, and we get it. It's a 5-4-3. They turn it. Another one. Another around the horn. This is the second one we've seen today. One by the Orioles, I believe. Or was that in the other game I played? That was in the other game I played. The last double play was a 4-6-3 double play. But here they go around the horn. 5-4-3. And they turn it. 2 outs. Nobody on. For John Orsino. Orsino had 7 home runs, batted .243 versus righties. And Bowden winds and deals. That's a 5 in play 70. And that is a fly ball line to center field, and right there is Mantle to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, none left. Top of the 7th, 4-4. You're watching the 1964 Yankees. This game was played April 17th. It's number 2, second game of the season. And it's going to be Cleve Boyer leading off. And then it's Bowden and Linz. So we may see a bunt here if Boyer gets on. We're not going to replace anybody in this game. We're going to use fatigue cards if we have to. And that's a 49, an 8 and a 49 against a lefty is going to be a ground ball to third. And that's Robinson. Throws out Boyer, 1 down. Here's pitcher hitting card number 5 for best, 5 for Bowden. Right-handed batter. And that's a snake eyes. That's a patient 84. Patient 84, and that is chopped to short. Shortstop Aparicio fires to first, 2 down. Here's Phil Linz. Phil Linz is 0 for 3. He's flied out 3 times to right field. See if he can make it a 4th. That's a 4. That's a tough 85. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. Aparicio to his left. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Yankees, and it is the 7th inning stretch. It's time for me to have a drink. A couple of quick shots of tequila will do it. Arriba, arriba. All right, feeling good now. Let's see. Bobby Richardson, bottom of the 7th. Jim Bowden versus Willie Kirkland. That's where we're at. Kirkland is 0 for 2, grounded out and flied out. It's 4-4. All the scoring came in the 2nd inning. The Yanks scored 4 runs, and the big hit, the 3-run home run by Jackie Brandt in the bottom of the 2nd, tied it all at 4. And that's where we stand up to this point. So from that point on, we have a pitcher's duel. Both pitchers will become fatigued. Barber should have been fatigued in that top of the 7th already. We gave him a freebie. He got away with one there. But there's no guarantee that a fatigue card would have hurt in any way, shape, or form. But we will get a fatigue card for him and bring it in now. Let's see. He had 6.8 strikeouts. So we need a fatigue card that has more than that. All right. So 0. Now we want 4 or more and 6 or more. That's his fatigue card. And then next inning, it's going to be Bowden still has this inning. He's good. All right, let's do this. Willie Kirkland, left-handed hitter against righties, at 194. But I guess at the beginning of the season, they said, hey, he's going to do something. So they kept him in there. They started him against the lefty. That's a 6. Most of his Bowden's card is in play. It's an in play 84. And that's easy to read. That's a grounder to second. Bobby Richardson scoops it and fires the first. 1 down. Here comes Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson is 2 for 2 today. Pitch from Bowden. And that is a 5 and in play, 87. Again, that's ripped to short. Shortstop Linz over to first, 2 down. And here's Jerry Adair. Pitch from Bowden. And that's an 11. 11-11. That's wheelhouse. Oh boy, that's trouble. Against a righty, that's a deep drive off Adair's bat. Left center field. Back goes the left fielder. Trash to the track, to the wall. That's out of here. 5-4. Home run. Jerry Adair. And we had an 11 there. You know, Bowden gave up 32 home runs. Most of it probably because he's pitching in Yankee Stadium. And with that low number, the wheelhouse low number against a righty, 1-21. And that's going to be a home run and an RBI. Second RBI of the day for Adair. Had one in the second inning on a double. And here comes Barber. Wow. So the Baltimore Orioles have wakened the crowd here in Baltimore at Memorial Stadium with that home run to left field off the bat of Jerry Adair to give the Orioles a 5-4 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. All right, Jim Bowden versus a 6-pitcher hitting card. And that's a 4. That's in play 11. That may be a base hit. I think he's a 6-pitcher hitting card. Yeah, he's a 6. And what I say, I was in play and 11 is going to be a base hit. So the pitcher strokes a single to center field, played on a hop by Mantle, gets it in to Linz. And, I'm sorry, that was down here, but in the wrong spot. All right. And here's Jackie Brandt. Jackie Brandt really came up huge in that second inning with 2 outs and runners on second and third. He drove one deep, and he tied the ball game at 4. And here he is again with a chance to give the Orioles a little insurance, a little Allstate. Jackie Brandt. And Scott Howard, you're probably familiar with Jim Bowden's story in Ball 4. I did read that book, sir. Yes, I did. And then I followed that up with the Pepitone book. Joe, you could have made us proud. I read both of those, and that's why I'm into this period a little bit. You know, so Jim Bowden, you know, towards the end of his career, turned to the knuckleball. You know, and had a whole system to be effective with the knuckleball. He felt that he lost his fastball. He had some arm issues as well. But during his prime, he was quite effective. As you can see here, he had he pitched 271 innings in 64. He won, I think, 18 games with a 3 ERA. I don't have his whip. He only walked 60 in almost 300 innings. So he had good control, was not a real strikeout guy at all, not even close. He had 100 strikeouts, 125 strikeouts in 271 innings. So he was more of a ground ball, fly ball guy. All right, so here's Jackie, keep on thinking Jackie Bradley Jr., Jackie Brandt with 1 on and 2 out. So hopefully we can get Jim Bowden out of this inning. We don't have to make any changes, but there is some movement in the Yankee bullpen. That's a 6. That's again in play. Everything's in play. It's an in play 49, and that's going to be chopped to third. Third baseman's going to go the short way. It's going to be 5-4 fielder's choice, and that will retire the side. But 1 run on a home run by Jerry Adair. Let's see what Adair did. How many home runs he hit? Jerry Adair against righties hit 7 home runs. So most of his power was against righties. Hits 1 right here today. All right. And it's going to be a fatigue card for Adair. Barber, excuse me, for Steve Barber. I like to leave his name out like that so I can remember who's pitching. So Bobby Richardson, Roger Maris, and Mickey Mantle. And we're leaving him in there. Now, if he gives up with the fatigue card, the way I usually play it, in a close game like this, if he gives up a hit or a walk, I'll replace him. But otherwise, I've gone 2 and 3 innings with fatigue cards, and nothing has happened. That's an in-play 23 against a lefty. In-play 23. That's a base hit. Bobby Richardson is on, tying run, and that's going to be it for Barber. We're going to go to the bullpen and see who they let's see where I have that information. Don't have it anywhere here. Let me see. Where did I bring that up? I think I brought it up on my phone. So we're going to the bullpen here. So let's take a quick peek at what happens in 1964. I was 1 year old in 64. Let's see what we got here. Do I have that? You know what? For some reason, I don't have it. Okay, so let's bring it up. Let's bring up Yankees 64. Now let's see. I'm not going to be able to do it that way. I got to do it a different way. And we're going to take a look at who they used in these games. I do have Replay Baseball that I'm inputting stats on, so I'll have some stats on this season. But how far I'll get into the season, to be perfectly honest, I have no idea. I usually do the pitcher replays. All right, at Baltimore on April 17th, the Orioles they actually used a few pitchers. They used a couple pitchers, Haddix and Stu Miller. So let's look for Haddix. I like to use guys that were available. And Stu Miller, we'll bring him in if needed. Let's see if we can find Haddix. There he is, Harvey Haddix. He's a lefty to face Roger Maris, who's a lefty, so that works out perfect. I don't know if they did a lot of righty-lefty. Where's mine? What the hell? Huh. I just knocked myself out of this? I don't know. All right. I am live. As far as I know, I'm live. I just need to get to to be honest with you, I don't know exactly what happened here. I don't think I'm streaming anymore. I can't get to my screen. Available? No. Theater mode. Exit full screen. Live streaming. Webcam. Jesus Christ, cannot get back into the, it's hilarious. Play on TV, no. Full screen, I don't want that. Theater mode, let's see what that means. All right, there you are, okay. All right, everybody's saying, Scott Howard's telling me it's good here. I can't hear you, picture's still good. All right, that's weird. I don't know, I somehow I got out of the screen that I'm used to being in. And so I don't know, I can't get back to that screen. That's weird. I am on a brand new computer that I don't really recognize, but I can see the chat now, but I have all this weird stuff on my screen. Like I have streaming settings, analytics, stream health. I have the viewers and playbacks and average watch time, and I have all that kind of stuff. I don't know what's going on. All right, but Harvey Haddix is going to come in, face Roger Maris. And let's see what happens. Pretty good game we got going here. It's 5-4. Top of the 8th inning. Bobby Richardson is on at first. Now let's see if Richardson is a base stealer. He's still 11 bases. And he is a 2B. Let's take a look at the catcher. Catcher is going to be Orsino. Orsino is arm rating of 4. And let's look at the chart. And a 4 B is so with Roger Maris at the plate, they're going to send Bobby Richardson, and there he goes. I'm going to pull a card, and it says he is safe at second base, steals second. And that now puts the tying run in scoring position for Roger Maris. And here's the pitch from Haddix. Haddix versus had a 2.31 ERA, was 5-5, 10 saves in 89 innings. That's a 12. That's going to be defense. And we have a 61. A 61 is still could be a range. Can only be a range. So if it doesn't come up range, it comes with error. So that is going to be a ball that is hit for an out. Comebacker. No fielder's choice on this. Runners at second, not at first. I could play this. You know, you could play this as they go and they get the runner at third base. You could do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 1-2-3. They go for third and they get Richardson. A 1-2-3 and they throw to third back to the pitcher, and the pitcher Haddix throws to third, and the tag by Robinson, and they get Richardson. Oh no, 1-5. And that puts Maris on a fielder's choice at first base. Ouch, that hurt. All right. So Mickey Mantle with a runner on first now and 1 out. Big blunder by Bobby Richardson. He was on second base with nobody out and try to make it to third on a comebacker to the pitcher. I don't know how to interpret that. I mean, this doesn't come up very often where you get a fielder's choice on the error cards, you know. So I'm going to use that as, because otherwise you'd never have an opportunity to get a guy at third base in this game if you don't at least do it when it's a pitcher fielder's choice. So this will probably happen one time the whole season. It won't happen again, but it doesn't happen very much where they get that guy at third base, especially when when first and second aren't occupied. In other words, it was just he wasn't forced to go here, and he went. And I rolled for it at 1, 2, 3. It was he's out of third. 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. He would be safe. So here's Mickey Mantle, and Mickey Mantle versus lefties, 424. So what we're going to do here is we don't want to put the this is tricky. So what we should do is bring in Stu Miller, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. Stu Miller is going to come in. I mean, even though it's the beginning of the season, so you don't really know he's going to bat 424. But I'm going to just bring in Stu Miller, kind of playing it to the kind of platoon, the splits. And we're going to bring in Stu Miller here. So let's write in Haddix came in, pitched the one batter. And now it's Stu Miller, who is we're going to try that we get him, or he gets us through the game here. So it's Mickey Mantle now. Now Mickey Mantle goes to 241 from 424. Here goes pitch from Stu Miller to Mantle. That's an 8. An 8 is a tough 0-9. Strike 3. Gets Mantle swinging. Second time Mantle strikes out today. Now towards, by 69, actually in the mid 60s, I think Mantle retired in 68, I believe. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. But towards the end of his career, he was very, very recognized, very popular, major celebrity, and he couldn't go out anymore because they wouldn't leave him alone. So he used to just went on the road. He would just get drinks in his hotel room. He would get food sent up, drinks sent up, and every so often Whitey Ford would stop by and they'd have a couple of drinks. But Mickey Mantle was the one who would drink he would drink much more heavily than Whitey Ford. But Whitey Ford could also drink, and they were drinking buddies pretty much, Whitey Ford and Mickey Mantle. Now, Roger Maris is at first. I don't know that Roger Maris is a base stealing threat. No, he had 3 stolen bases. I usually don't try it with guys like that, especially early in the season. Later on in the season, I'll do it. Tom Tresh. Pitch from Miller. He's a switch hitter. Bats from the left side. That's an 8. An 8's a tough 41 from a righty. It's going to be a strikeout. That's going to retire the side. So back-to-back Ks. Stu Miller comes in and takes care of business. No runs, 1 hit, stolen base, 1 left on the fielder's choice. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Jim Bowden's still in the game, but he will be a fatigue pitcher card now. Like I told you, I like to use the fatigue pitcher cards. I am not afraid of those. In the case that that you're losing 4 or less, and he didn't strike out a lot of guys. So this is a card 4 or more. Okay, that's not it. Fatigue pitcher card 0. That's it. Oh no. Oh, all right. Let's see. Where's all my fatigue pitcher cards? I did something with them. These are all my hitting cards, and then I got like 1 fatigue pitcher card. Okay, got them now. All right, and this is his card 0 to 6 or more. No, 6 or less. There it is. Found it. This is Jim Bowden's fatigue pitcher card. I will use the fatigue pitcher card. Now, one thing I did do in my replays, I didn't use a lot of fatigue pitcher cards, and I think I blew it. But the inning on the card says that's the inning you're supposed to use the fatigue pitcher card, versus he doesn't complete that inning and then you use it. In that inning, like if it says, for example, Bowden says 8, that means the 8th inning is when he uses his fatigue pitcher card. Doesn't mean too much. He can get everybody out with his fatigue pitcher card. Aparicio's leading it off. It's 5-4, bottom of the 8th. Yankees 1964 game 2. They won game 1. They're 1-0. This is going to be a 3. A 3 off the fatigue pitcher card is a patient 0-7, and this will be ball 4. So Aparicio walks. He's on at first. Aparicio can't steal. Oh, wow. Aparicio stole 57 bases. So he is a B. And Ellie Howard is a 2. So it's a B2, which is normal. We're going to pull a card. And here goes. There he goes. A throw down, and he is safe. Tag is late. So it's a walk and a stolen base, Aparicio. And here's Boog Powell. And lefty. We're going to walk Powell intentionally to set up that double play and face Seaburn. Here's Bowden to Seaburn. And that's a snake, guys. That's going to be in play 85. This may give us what we're looking for. And it's going to be a ground ball to short. I'm sorry, to second. Richardson. And that's an 8. That's going to be too high. It's going to be a fielder's choice. Richardson goes to second. And going in hard is Powell breaking it up. So it's first and third now. The Yankees are going to be forced to bring the infield in. And I hate to do that with first and third, but we got to do it. And I'm just getting a bad feeling about this fatigue pitcher card in this situation with first and third now. So I'm going to turn to the bullpen here in the bottom of the 8th inning in a 5-4 ball game. Pete Mickelson is a guy they use in this game. I guide myself. Sometimes players make bad choices. Exactly. Richardson caught in a rundown. Not in a rundown. Well, yeah, you could say it's a rundown. Who knows? I didn't put it as a rundown. I just put that he tried to, the pitcher threw to third. But it may have been a rundown. That's a good one. But yeah, I guide myself. I don't know these seasons very well, so I try to guide myself, a little bit through the box scores of the era. Also, just to kind of remain loyal to the roster at the time. I could use, because I do use the rosters, the Replay Baseball PC game rosters. New York, I'm looking for Mickelson now. So Mickelson may be a guy that I don't have. I don't know. Because I don't think I have every single player. Especially if Mickelson ended up with on another team. Yeah, I don't seem to have Mickelson. Mickelson may have only had a couple of at-bats. I don't know. Let me quickly check Mickelson. Let's see. He only pitches a third of an inning in this game. Mickelson in 1964. Oh, no. Mickelson should be here. Okay. He was in 50 games, so I have Mickelson for sure. But you know where? He could be in a couple of different spots. Because when I played that power outage game in my car at 3 a.m, I may have put him in with the Boston Red Sox, who I played that day, because he's not with Baltimore. So let me go through the Boston Red Sox. That's the team I played in the car, and so he may be with the Red Sox. I may have a few Yankees with the Red Sox. Let's see. Nope, don't see Mickelson. So also Mickelson may be a player that got misplaced when I separated all the cards. And what happens is these cards stick together, and you grab them, and since they're so thick, sometimes it's hard to tell two apart when you're moving fast. So Mickelson is not with Boston. So we're not going to be able to bring in Mickelson. I don't seem to have him, but I will go through the cards one more time. We'll look at the following game and see who we can bring in. So Mickelson is not there with the Red Sox. That's the team I played. So I will have to go through all the cards and all the teams and look for Mickelson. Yeah, don't have him here. I'm not going to do that right now. So we're going to bring in another guy. Let's check and see who we can bring in. Next game. Let's move up to the next game. Get an idea who was around, right? Who was around so we can pick them to pitch. Well, not starting lineups, not there. I want to go pitching lines. Mickelson shows up in the next game as well. That's great. The third game, see if we get another Yankee. Another Yankee pitcher, and it's going to be Steve Hamilton who picks up the save. So let's see if we have Hamilton. I don't remember seeing Hamilton either. Let's see. Steve Hamilton. Okay, great. Problem solved. And I will find Mickelson for the next game. He will show up. And so it's Steve Hamilton. Let's write him in. So that's the end. Bowden hands. Who was it? Who was the Yankee manager this time? I'm drawing a blank. Hamilton will hand the manager the ball, Bowden, and it's Hamilton now taking over for Bowden against Orsino. Lefty on righty. Runners on first and third. Infield is in for the Yanks. This may give us a chance to use the infield in chart if there's a grounder. And that is going to be a 5, which is a tough 43. And we need this to be a strikeout. And it is. We just make it 1-45. And Steve Hamilton, the curveball gets Orsino. 2 out. And here's Willie Kirkland, a lefty hitter. And we should maybe pinch hit for Kirkland because I think he's in there because he was facing a righty. So let's see who's another right fielder for the Sam Bowens. Bowens is going to come in. He's going to pinch hit for the lefty Kirkland with 2 out and Sam Bowen. Did I just pass him? No, Sam Jones. Great names. These old-time names are hilarious. Vineyard, Starrett, Lau, Strada, Johnson. Sam Bowens coming in for the pinch hit, and then he will go to right field. All right, pinch hitter, and I do these squiggly lines. So Bowens, pinch hit, and then he's going to be in right field. All right, so here's the pitch, Hamilton. It's a 5-4 ball game, bottom of the 8th. New York at Baltimore, 1964, April 17th. Where were you? And it's Hamilton who is going to. It was a 3.28 ERA, 7-2 record. He is facing Sam Bowens, who against lefties batted .291 and 200 at bats with 11 home runs. Bowens had 22 home runs, so he's got decent power. And here's the pitch from Hamilton. First and third. Runners take their lead. That's an 8. That's a tough 68 against a lefty. And that is going to be a ground ball to second. Richardson steps on the bag, and that retires the side. Wait a second. There's only 1 out here. Or there were 2. No, 2 outs. 2 outs. There's the fielder's choice, the strikeout. Yep, and that's going to retire the side. No runs. No hits in that one, just a couple of walks. And we go to the top of the 9th. Last licks, and Stu Miller's going to try to finish this off. He's going to face Elston Howard, Joe Pepitone, and Cleve Boyer. Top of the 9th, 5-4. Baltimore Orioles, the 64 Orioles. Never thought I'd be playing anything in that early of the 60s, but never say never. Sean Connery, very famous for that movie when he came back after swearing off any more bond. Scott Howard, Yogi Berra in 64. Thank you, sir. So Yogi Berra is the manager. He took the ball from Bowden. 6 days from his 12th birthday. Cool. All right. So it's Brooks Robinson. No, it's Elston Howard facing Stu Miller here in the top of the 9th inning at a 5-4 Baltimore Oriole lead. The question is, can the Orioles hold on? Stu Miller with a 3.06 ERA and a 7-7 record, pitched 97 innings, had 23 saves. That's going to be a 6 and an 18. A 6 is a patient. An 18 is going to allow us to get a base runner. That's going to be a base on balls. Elston Howard. And he's a decent base runner. He's a 6, so we're going to leave him in. We're not doing anything special. He's not really a base stealer, but he's a decent base runner. He can run the bases, according to this. Joe Pepitone, lefty hitter, facing Stu Miller. He's got good power. Pepitone doesn't strike out much versus righties, but I don't want to take Pepitone's power away through a hit and run. So we're going to just play it as you would in 2020, and just kind of let him swing away. Here's a pitch. Stu Miller checks the sign, and he sets and deals to Pepitone. Pepitone has a chance here. He's 1 for 3 on the day. He can be a hero here, and that's a 10, and a 10 is a tough. Oh, and a 9 is a strikeout. Pepitone swings and misses. Goes down on strikes. I was looking to see if that would have been a wheelhouse. Stu Miller's wheelhouse is at 12. We already had the 0-9. That would have been a home run, and we came close. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. I don't think you can. Let me get a little bit more in the picture there. Let's see. All right. And it's going to be Cleve Boyer now with a runner on first. A tiny run is on at first base. Elston Howard. And it's Cleve Boyer. Here's the pitch. Oh, I'm looking for that 12, that wheelhouse. We would have had a home run right there. Oh, my goodness. 12 is the wheelhouse. That's an 8. An 8 is a tough. A 0-2. Strike 3, and he gets Boyer. So Stu Miller has struck out 4 of the 5 batters he's faced. Now, one thing I asked Joe a while back is maybe batters faced would be more interesting, because then Stu Miller would, probably have 8 or 9 batters faced, so you know what you go. He's gone 5 batters here. He can, he's short, so you can go 2 innings basically. I mean, it's a simplified way of doing it, which is fine. I mean, it works. Anyway, so here's the pitcher. So we're going to get a pinch hitter. And let's see who we're going to get. Let's look in the Yankee bench and see what we got. And Hector Lopez, I know he's a guy that Bill Stafford is a Tony Kubek. Oh, Johnny Blanchard, a lefty. We're going to bring in Johnny Blanchard because I know that he's available. I don't know anybody else is available, and I don't want to go through anything. I want to go through the roster or anything like that right now. So two outs, runner on first. Johnny Blanchard, who versus righties has power, hit 7 home runs. So he's got some power and 146 at bats. That would be proportionally, he would have hit 28 home runs on the season. Not too shabby. Johnny Blanchard, a left-handed hitter, versus righties, like I said, 247. He had, what is that, 6? Looks like a 6. Can't really see it. Oh, let me get my trusty Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass. At this time of night, my eyes start getting really tired. And yeah, it's a 6 doubles, no triples, 7 home runs. And Johnny Blanchard with 2 outs. Here it is. Here's the pitch from Stu Miller. 1 out away from a save. And we don't get we get a 5, which is in play, and in play 72, and this is going to do it. That's going to be a fly ball center field. Over is Brandt. Brandt under it, squeezes it for the out. Ball game over. Yankees lose it. Their record is 1-1 now. They lose it by a score of 5-4. Wow, so that was interesting. That was quite a game we just played there. So he's going to go up with the Yankees. Bowden's going to go with the Yankees. Put this over here. Put your hitting card. Put that there. Bring these pitchers down to Baltimore. Got to play another couple of games, just not right now. So let's look at the scorecard here. See what happened. Hits. Big hit there. Home run. That's 2 hits, 3 hits, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hits for the Orioles. No errors in this game. I don't remember any errors. Hits for for the Yanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits for the Yanks, and no errors that I can see. Both teams had a stolen base. The win is going to go to Barber. The loss is going to go to Bowden. And Bowden went 7.1. And Hamilton 1.2. We got to find Mickelson. I don't have him. I wonder if he fell in the car. If I don't find him in all the teams, then I got to go into the car and check. And that's going to be it. So I wish I had my. You know what? I'll do it in blue. So it's 4, 5-4. So you can see the score nice and clearly here. The Orioles beat the Yanks Game 2 of the 1964 season, the Joe Pepitone replay. And that's about it, guys. Payoff pitch. Let me look at the. Yeah, 79 Orioles replay. The O's playing a little over 500, about 70 games, 100 real life. Maybe it's just a 79 setter. Maybe it's just a lot of bad luck. Yeah, Tim T tells me that the O's are performing poorly in his 79 replay. The Orioles went to the World Series, correct me if I'm wrong, in 79, so they should have a pretty powerful team. And they're playing 500 through 70 games. It's still not, they can get on a tear. They can get on a tear and win 10 in a row, so then you'll be 10 above. I guess they won probably 90 games that year. They were 90 and 70, so just off the top, just taking a guess. So they would be 20 games over. So you got to get at least, you want to be at least 15 games over to kind of simulate, reality. So what is the thing that I don't know if Tim T is still here, but I'm curious to know, is it the pitching? Is it the hitting? Are you not getting hits? That's why I created this movement on the bases with the help of another gamer, where you have more opportunities to move from second to third, and then it's easier to score on a sac fly. And there's a chart for that. It's a flow chart, but it follows the same exact system that's in the rules, except it just tweaks it a little bit by making only 11, 12, and you're out. You can also be out, of course, on the chart. That'll tell if that says out, you're out. But everything like an 8 or a 9 or a 10 is not going to be out. It's going to be a hold. So you decide, what, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to try to score on this. And then 11 and 12 is the out. So it kind of, because if you're out too easily, then you stop moving. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to have a stagnant game either. You see, I don't want a stagnant game. So Tim is probably gone from what I can see. I've been talking and he hasn't responded. So, but Tim T said that his 1979 replay, they're not playing very well. That his Orioles are not playing very well. He says it may be the 79 set or maybe just a lot of bad luck. We'll see. My Mets lost 109 games. In reality, they lost 98 games. So, but I felt that I didn't do them justice. There were some things I didn't hit and run enough. I felt I didn't hit and run enough. I didn't get enough guys into scoring position. I didn't steal enough. I felt I should have stolen a little bit more. And maybe so I could have made a difference there. I felt that I was a little bit too conservative with a team that really has no power. So, all right. So ID Jester, okay. So a guy, Double D was here. ID Jester was here. Scott Howard shared some Jim Bowden information with me. Thank you for that. Tim T mentioned the 79 replay. Scott Howard, again, I mentioned him. And thank you guys for stopping by and keeping me company as I roll a game and sharing your insight and your anecdotes about the game as well. I like that when guys do that. And sometimes when I do this, I kind of fill this in and I color this out. And this is my adult coloring book, and this is for stress relief. It's really good. Instead of the Xanax, you do this to reduce stress. And this is the first part of this, and after that, I start coloring everything in. I do the hits are green, so I look for the hits, and I do them nice and lightly because I don't want to cover up what's there. Big home run there by Jackie Brandt. And the yellow is going to be the base on balls. Do that. And after this, I'm going to watch a movie called, it's a show on Netflix, In the Flesh. It's about zombies. They're not totally zombies. They're half human, half zombies. And it's an interesting story. It's not a lot of gore. It's a more powerful storyline. It's about a revolution. The partially deceased, they call them, are going to kind of take over the world. And let me see. There's one walk here. There it is, towards the end. Now the red is going to be, when I use red, it's going to be the strikeouts are going to be red. Quite a few strikeouts. I noticed that the Yankees are swinging for the fences. They're not playing any games. Definitely swinging for the fences. I took a nap from about 6 to 8. So if I go to sleep early tonight, I'll wake up early in the morning and I'll play a game. I'm going to play on base. I played 2 games so far. I want to play one more to make it 3 games. I really enjoyed it. The designer was happy to see his game being played by somebody else. So I'm glad I could help him, and I gave him, some recommendations. Of course, he's the designer, but I know what a lot of guys ask for. I know guys like some level of splits. Definitely need that, some level. Even if it's a basic game, basic, approach to it, you want some level of splits, particularly for the modern seasons. You want that. And the outliers, you want those outliers represented somehow. And he's got a good, simple system where I already made a recommendation of how he can pull the splits off, just putting a parentheses, putting a slash, left 1 result, 2 results, and then putting a parentheses around that. And that would denote that, hey, this is a splits, and he could still use his slash in other situations, which he uses as well. He uses hit by pitch walk. He uses that with a slash. He could still use that, but that wouldn't have the parentheses. The parentheses would only be around the splits. That would, and every player doesn't have to have a split. It depends on the players or on the pitcher. If the pitcher has a good, powerful, if he's really good against guys from his side, then you do it on that guy, right? You can do it on the pitcher and you can do it on the batter, depending. Very, very good system he has. Very simple. You check it out. It's a free game. And watch, if you go to my first debut of his game on my channel, you look up On Base Baseball, and I put the link is in there to his game where you can get it for free. There's no charge. Very easy to play. So you don't have to. It's not a long book. It's not Dynasty or anything like that. Those are the games I kind of like. Oh, there he is. Tim is back. Always hitting is down. Pitching okay, except for Stone, who has a 7+ ERA. And what was his ERA in reality? Steve Stone had a good season in '79, didn't he? It's like He should be around 3. I find that hitting is light and pop in my experience. In this game, I had 15 hits, 5-4. Now, like in my replay, I had a few guys hit below their real life averages, but it wasn't by a lot. It was like by the most by 10 points. It wasn't like by 50 points or anything like that. So but again, I didn't play the fatigue pitcher card right, so I think that I was pitching better pitchers against the Mets for a little bit longer because I misinterpreted. I believe, like if it said 8, right, for Bowden as an 8, his fatigue should start at 8, and I think I was waiting to complete 8 and then starting his fatigue at 9, and I think 8 is the inning that his fatigue card starts in. And the fatigue card doesn't automatically mean anything other than the wheelhouse goes to 7, which is a number you roll more often. And then plus there may be an extra walk, an extra hit, an extra in play there. But yeah, one thing that was really down was the sacrifice flies in my replay. Those are really down. I only had 13 sacrifice fly the whole season. In reality, the Mets had 69 sacrifice flies. So that's why I made the additional. I made the homebrew. And it doesn't really, the homebrew doesn't really change. You guys would say, oh, the homebrew is going to create too much offense. Oh, dude, you may play the whole series and it may come into effect one time maybe, and it doesn't turn into a run. It just gives an opportunity for a run. So no, it's not something that overtakes the game at all. Something that happens very seldom, but at least it gives you that opportunity to move. Bases don't become stagnant. I hate stagnant games where it's like, first to second, second to third, and then score. I like to be able to move about the bases a little bit more. I'm a fan of Billy Ball type thing. And that's about it. I got this colored in. And game 2, my 64 Pepitone. How did Pepitone do in this game? Pepitone went 1 for 4. Flat out twice, singled, and struck out. He's got a home run. In game 1, he hit a home run. And that's about it, guys. So this is CP Cards and Dice. Tony Porter signing off. Thanks for watching. Got a couple other. Yeah, this is my. This is what I was looking for. This is my game 1. Pepitone in game 1. Went 1 for 4, and in the last inning, Pepitone was walked intentionally, so he's 2 for 8, batting .250 with 1 home run in 2 games. So I got game 3 coming up. This is my old Status Pro score sheet. It's the only score sheets that I had printed out when the power went out. So I had to become extremely resourceful, as you can see. I went into my Status Pro, and they used to come in big stacks, right? Stacks of these Status Pro score sheets, and these saved me because my son and I played. During the day we could play. At night we played by candlelight. We replayed the 2015 Mets KC series with Stratomatic because he knows Stratomatic, and so I played that with him. And then we started the garbage can series, Houston and the Yankees, and we are in game 6 in that series. The Astros lead it 3-2 using Stratomatic. But anyway, I had to pull these score sheets. These score sheets saved me. So, I love you, Status Pro. I know you're not around anymore, although they are around. Check out, what's his name? Oh, man. On the Facebook, Advanced Status Pro Advanced. Check out that Facebook group, and he still does a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time to rate his players and so on. And he uses the same basic systems, but he's made some tweaks here and there to just modernize the game a little bit and correct the deficiencies it had from it's an earlier a game from an earlier time. And those games, had some deficiencies, although the designers, would not recognize that they were deficient in some way. It's just the nature of the beast. And that's it. So this is Tony Porter signing off. Thanks, guys, for watching. I will see you guys soon. I went way over. Let me see how I can get to close this down. I don't even know how I can get to close this down. Say cards and dice. Okay, I can't get to. All right, let's see how we can get here. Payoff Pitch live, webcam. Let's see, edit title. So now I'm trying to shut this down. Schedule stream, live stream, delete, edit title, description, type, webcam, edit title and description. Can't even public. Let's see, private, public, date. Let's see, webcam. Let's see what's now. All right, let's try to click on that. See where it takes me. Live chat. So basically, I lost a screen that I recognize, and I can't get to the shutdown screen. So I have to kind of go in. I'm gonna go in here. Let's see. Go live. Let's see if I can. You know what? Let me go into my studio and let's see if I can find it there. Excellent. None. All right, let's go into my studio. See if I can mess with this in my studio and shut it down. Channel dashboard. Let's see. Enterprise analytics. New channel. Okay, I'm live. Thank you very much. Custom channel, manage videos. Let's try that one. Let's see if that'll help me. I'm trying to shut this down. I can't shut it down. I once left it on all night. ID Jester saw it going, and I don't know. I must have fallen asleep. Let's see, live, public. Let's see. Let's share the link. Age restriction. Details. Guys, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut this down. I'm just going to close the computer, and once it stops filming, it'll eventually turn off because I got out of the screen that I know, and I can't really. Oh, end screen. What is that? End screen. Video is currently processing. Check back later. All right, so I'm done. Take care. Oh, Jesus, I found it. End stream. Boom. All right, guys. I found it. I found the screen. It was something totally different. Live streaming YouTube. It's got this crazy icon. All right, cool. So anyway, have a great night. Replay for a while. It's just not fun when a dominant team struggles for so long. Yeah. Well, I'd like to follow I'd like to follow your replay, man. I'd like to follow your replay. So keep in touch with me and tell me every series or every couple of series, tell me how it's going. I'm really interested in that. Hitting is light. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Like I said, a couple of guys didn't hit as well as they should have. Mazzilli hit pretty well. He was in the 318 or something like that. He hit 303 in reality, so it's pretty close. So yeah, keep us informed of that. Reach out to me on these streams and on YouTube and so forth. And I'd like to follow up and see how you're doing. You're at 70 games. So keep it up, and then you'll know a little bit more. And maybe you need to score some more runs, try some hit and runs, try some extra stolen bases. Look and see who you have on the bench who steals bases, and bring those guys in, steal a base here and there, and maybe that'll make the difference. And I'll talk to you soon.